So I want to take time out to talk about the English Regents, because I see that a lot of high school students have pretty much psyched themselves out of passing the test because they come to the test, they're so anxious, they're so worried that they can't even concentrate on the content that's on the paper. So we're gonna talk about how to calm down before we take the test. Now's a really good time to start including, I don't know, deep breathing, prayer as a part of your test taking strategies, because in college and later on you're going to realize that whatever you practice as your strategy now is going to continue later. So the first strategy that you really should have in order to feel calmer is preparation. So it's good to know what's on the test. So let's talk about what's on the English Regents. The first part is that you're going to have a passage read to you. This is actually a really difficult section for some people because they can't seem to concentrate on people talking to them, especially giving them important information that they'll need later to answer multiple choice questions. So I think maybe it might be prudent to familiarize yourself with an audiobook or something. Practice taking notes on everything, because I'm not sure that you're going to be able to write down just what's important. But maybe if you figure out how to write everything down, you might capture what's important as well. And the multiple choice questions are pretty much the same format of the type of questions they ask. So if you familiarize yourself with previous exams, you might be able to pinpoint what is important when you're hearing it and write it down and get through the oral section just fine. Reading comprehension comes next. So you're going to read passages and answer questions. This part is very straightforward. I see a lot of students ace through it because that's what you do in class every day. Especially when we're preparing for the Regents, that's what you do in class every day, reading comprehension. So the more you practice reading comprehension, the more you know. Like even before you get to the questions, you know, oh, they're gonna ask about that. They're gonna ask about that. I got this. So the really challenging portions of the test are the short response and the essay. So the short response pretty much asks you to streamline your knowledge. It asks you to bring back stuff like literary elements, and it talks to you directly about passages you just read or something like that. There's really no way to know what exactly they're going to ask. So it is very important that you familiarize yourself with the literary elements and that you know what they are, because within 5 seconds of you writing down a literary element and you actually don't know what it is, the person grading it will know that you don't know what it is. So don't mention alliteration or metaphors or similes or any literary element you have no idea what it is. Don't just throw the word in there. Actually know what it is. The part I really want to emphasize about the essay is that you have no idea what the quote is going to be. And we have a wealth of literature in this world, and there's no way you're going to know what the quote is going to be. So please, I beg you to read the book that you plan on using as an example. Read the books that you plan on using as an example. Read them thoroughly, know them in and out, know exactly what you plan on saying, because there's no way that you can tell what quote is going to be used and how they're going to ask you to take it. On another note, this is just my opinion, am of the belief that if you agree, you are more likely to it's easier to agree than disagree. That's what I'm saying. Because if you disagree, the burden of proof is on you. If you find that you're able to get your point across pretty smoothly, and you know that your English is your first language, and you can say things and you can disagree and prove your point, and fine, go ahead and disagree. But I would encourage you to agree only because you can agree, you can use the quote, refer to your book, agree, and then just use the book as a supporting detail to everything you say, and it's smooth. When you disagree, you have to use the quote, use the book as a supporting detail to prove the quote wrong, and that proves to be more difficult for students who are not as familiar with English and who are not as familiar with the literature, particularly if they have not read the books that they are using as an example. So I would just advise, just in my opinion, that agreeing would be simpler and easier to accomplish in the English region. Also, I cannot say this enough. Please read the book. The books you plan on using as an example. Know the book. I get it. You're busy. You have a life. But that 100 pages is very important for you to pass. Because if you do not know what the book is about, it will show very quickly. And you cannot prove a quote true or false, agree or disagree, if you have no idea what you're using to support that. So, on that note, the English Regents and you are going to have a wonderful relationship. Take deep breaths. Take the test. You'll be fine.